Okay, students, good morning. In the last class or extra days class, we have started to solve this problem, numerical problem. So I have given you a numerical problem, that is a tank contains water up to a height of 0.5 meter. Okay, this is a tank. This is a tank. This tank consists two fluids up to a depth of 0.5 meter, up to a depth of 1 meter. This tank consists oil of specific gravity 0.8. Okay, so this is 1 meter. This is 1 meter, and this is water. So this depth is 0.5 meter. Okay, this is the problem. So what is this physical problem? The physical problem is you have a tank of width 2 meter, and this tank consists two types of liquids. Okay, the top liquid is oil of specific gravity 0.8, and it consists, or it filled to a depth of 1 meter, to a depth of 1 meter from the free surface. This is the free surface, and bottom surface. Okay, at the bottom the tank is filled by 0.5 meter depth by water. Okay, so this is a tank having width 2 meter. So initially at the starting point or from the bottom, the tank is filled with the water for a height of 0.5 meter, and from this height it is filled with a oil of specific gravity 0.8 for 1 meter. So first layer is oil. On this tank consists two types of liquids. The first layer of liquid is oil having specific gravity 0.8 meter, and its depth is 1 meter, and the second layer is water. Second layer is water, and its depth is 0.5 meter. Okay, now the question is, and two fluids, okay, 0.8 specific gravity 0.8 meter and 1 meter filled on the top of water 1 meter height, and remaining portion is filled with water. So you have to calculate the total pressure F or P, total pressure P or F, total force, or you can also call it as a total pressure, and its point of application, magnitude of this force, magnitude of this force, and point of application, point of application on sides of the tank. Okay, so the problem is very simple. This is a tank, and this tank consists two types of fluids. The top layer is fluid of specific gravity 0.8 meter, and its depth is 1 meter, and the bottom layer is filled with water with a depth of 0.5 meter. Now the question is, you have to calculate force exerted by these two fluids on the supporting walls of the tank. So the vertical wall, this tank is perpendicular to this board. Okay, this is the width, that is the thickness. Okay, thickness of the tank is perpendicular to the board. Okay, so you have to calculate the force exerted by these two fluids on the vertical walls, on the side of the vertical walls or on the sides of the tank, and how to calculate the total force exerted by these two fluids on the sides of the tank or the side walls of the tank. So for that, so let us take this side wall. Okay, this side wall, it runs side wall of the tank or side of the tank. it runs perpendicular to the board. So you take vertical projection of this wall in the vertical direction, that is AC. AC is the vertical projection of this wall. Okay, this is the vertical projection of wall. Okay, you can take AC. This is the vertical projection of the wall. Now, up to this depth, that is up to 1 meter depth, the fluid is what? It is oil of specific gravity 0.8. So, as from the hydrostatic distribution law, or from the hydrostatics law, as we have discussed in the earlier classes, the hydrostatic law states that the pressure exerted by the static mass of fluid on a vertical plane is maximum, its intensity is maximum at the base. Okay, for this oil, this is the base and this is the depth. So it is, we already derived this, the P is equal to WH or H is equal to P by W. So pressure intensity P is equal to WH. Okay, so here this is the pressure intensity. The pressure intensity at level DE is equal to what? The unit weight of this fluid, multiplied by this height, that is H. So it is H1. So W1 H1 gives you what? Gives you the pressure intensity at the level DE. Okay. Then next, from this point. Okay. See, the pressure exerted by the water at this point is 0, but the pressure exerted by this fluid on this wall is W1 H1. So now pressure exerted by this second fluid, that is water, on the plane AC or on the surface E to C, at this level it is 0, so it varies again linearly and its shape is triangular in shape. This is equal to what? This is equal to unit weight of this fluid, that is water, multiplied by this height, that is W2H2. So this is W2H2, this is W1H1. So this total is W1H1 plus W2H2. Okay, so pressure intensity at the base, total pressure intensity exerted by these two fluids on the base BC is W1H1 plus W2H2. Okay, so let us calculate the pressure intensities at the level DE and at the level BC exerted by these two fluids on this side wall AC. Okay, so now the pressure intensity at point DE or at point D. So this pressure intensity, the magnitude pressure intensity at D is equal to what? W1H1. W1H1 is what? It is 9810, that is the unit weight of water, or mass density of fluid is 1000 multiplied by specific gravity of the acceleration due to gravity is 9.81, specific gravity of this fluid is 0.8 and the height is 1 meter. So 1000 or it is 9810. Okay, W1 is equal to, you have mass, that is rho into G or rho 1. Rho 1 is what here? Rho 1 is this is the rho 1. So rho 1 is equal to mass density of water multiplied by specific gravity of this fluid. So rho 1 is equal to mass density of fluid, that is 1000. So multiplied by specific gravity 0.8. So this gives you the rho 1. Okay, multiplied by 9810, that is, you know from the definition of the specific gravity of any fluid is equal to ratio of mass density of that fluid divided by mass density of the standard fluid. Standard fluid is water, therefore mass density of any fluid is equal to specific gravity multiplied by mass density of the standard fluid. So it is 9.81 into 1, so 9848 Newton per meter square. So that is the pressure intensity, or directly 9810, that is the unit weight of oil, so multiplied by 0.8, so multiplied by 1, so 7848. Okay, next is what? Next is pressure intensity at point B. Okay, at the base of the tank, is equal to B dash. Pressure intensity at B is equal to B dash plus B dash C. Okay, pressure intensity at B is equal to pressure intensity B dash plus B dash C. Okay, this is equal to what? B dash is W2H2 and B dash is W1H1. Okay, W1H1. So W2H2, okay, that is, this is area pressure intensity at point P. So W2H2, so you calculate W2H2 first, that is half 9810 into the vertical distance 0.5. Then W1H1 already we have calculated, that is 7848. Okay, so W2H2 is equal to pressure intensity, that is half multiplied by this W2H2. So W2 is water, so unit weight of water is 9810 multiplied by this 0.5, that is the height. Okay, so W2H2, that is 9810 multiplied by 0.5 plus 9810 and multiplied by the height H1, that is 0.5. So W1H1 is already calculated, that is W1H1 is 7848 and this is okay, 12,753. Now total force acting on triangle AE. Okay, so these are the pressure intensities. Pressure intensity at point DE is equal to 7848. Pressure intensity at point B, that is B dash plus B dash C. B dash C is W1H1, that is 7848, and this is equal to half. This is equal to what? This is equal to W2. W2 is what? W2 is the unit weight of water, that is 9810 plus 0.5 plus 0.5. Okay, that is the height. So this is gives you the pressure intensity at point B. Now, okay, how to calculate the total force? Okay, we have now calculated only the pressure intensities at this level, at the level DE, at the bottom of the tank, at this level BC. Okay, so this is a irregular figure. So you divide this figure into three parts. This is part 1, this is 2, this is 3. Okay, now the total force acting on this triangle ADE is equal to area of this triangle multiplied by width of the tank. That gives you the and mass weight density of the fluid or unit weight of the fluid. That gives you the volume multiplied by unit weight of water. What is the volume? Volume is area of this triangle. Area of this triangle is half W1 H1 multiplied by H1, and volume is multiplied by the width, and that gives you the volume. You multiply it by the unit weight of oil, so that gives you the total force F1. Okay, now let us consider the triangle ADE. Let the total force acting on this triangle ADE is F1. So total force F1 acting on triangle ADE is equal to half, okay, area of this triangle, then W1 H1 7848 multiplied by H1, that is height, that is 1 meter, multiplied by width of tank. Okay, so this is what? This is volume is in meter cube, and unit weight of oil is Newton per meter cube. So this meter cube cancels. So this you are getting the total force. That is the total force F1 acting on triangle ADE is equal to area of this triangle multiplied by width of this tank multiplied by unit weight of oil. So that is half W1 H1, that is the pressure intensity at the base. Base is the triangle of ADE. Okay, triangle of ADE, its base is DE. This is the pressure intensity. This we have already calculated, that is 7848. So the total force is the half DE. DE is 7848, and height EA is 1 multiplied by width of the tank 2. So this gives you the force F1, magnitude of the force F1 acting on triangle ADE. And where it acts? It acts at a distance of H1 by 3 from the base DE, or from the top surface, or from the top point A. It acts at a distance of 2/3 of H1. So this is the point of application of F1. So the total magnitude of force F1 acting on this triangle ADE is 7848 Newton, and its point of application is H1 by 3 from the base DE, or 2/3 of H1 from the point A. Okay, this is the point of application. So next is, okay, so now we divided this entire diagram in 3 parts. So second part, you take second figure, that is the rectangle DECB dash. So force acting on the rectangle DECB dash is F2, and this is equal to area of this rectangle multiplied by 2. So area of this rectangle is this DE multiplied by EC multiplied by 2. Okay, DE is equal to what? DE is equal to 7848, EC is 0.5, and width of the tank is 2 meter. So this is the magnitude of the force F2, and where it acts on this rectangle? On this rectangle it acts at the CG point. This is the CG point of this rectangle. This is the CG point of this triangle. So next you consider the triangle DB dash B. Let force F3 is acting on the triangle DB dash. So the force F3 is equal to half, okay, area of this triangle, half multiplied by W2 H2 multiplied by this height. okay, multiplied by width of the tank. So 9810 half W2 H2 already we have calculated, W2 H2, okay, that is 9810, that is the W2 is the 9, because this fluid is water, so 9810 plus H2 is 0.5 plus width of the tank, half 9810, this is the unit weight of water, this is the height of the fluid, height of the water in the tank, that is 0.5 meter, and this is the width of the tank. So this gives you the force F3, and where it acts at a height of this is H2 by 3 from the base. So this is the point of application. Okay, so this is the, so now we have calculated the magnitude of force F1, magnitude of force F2, magnitude of force F3. Force F1 is acting on the triangle ADE, and we have also calculated its point of application, and F2 is the force acting on this rectangle, and we have also calculated its point of application, and also the force acting on the triangle DBB dash and its point of application. Okay, so now what is the total force? Total force is sum of F1, F2 and F3. Therefore, the total force or pressure exerted by these two fluids on this side wall, on the side wall AC, okay, total F is F, or you can also take it as P, capital P. Okay, capital P or capital F is what? It is the total force exerted by the two fluids which are in the tank on the side wall AC. So 7848 plus 7848 plus 2452.5. So this is the total force F or P. The next point is, so we know the point of application of F1, we know the point of application of F2, we know point of application of F3. Okay, and we also know the magnitude of the total force P or F, which is 18148.5 Newton. And next important point is where this total force or total pressure acts. So for that you have to take moment of all these forces about the point A. Okay, from the moment principle in the basic mechanics we have already studied, or from the principle of mechanics. What that principle of mechanics states? It states the moment of all forces about a point is equal to moment of their resultant force about the same point. Moment of all these forces about point A must be equal to moment of resultant force of all these three forces about the same point. This is from the basic principle of mechanics or from the basic principle of moments. Okay, making that basic principle, you take the moments of all these three forces, that is F1, F2, F3, and also force P at point, about point A. Okay, so now moment of this force, total force, that is our F. Okay, let the from point A, okay, total force is lying at a depth h bar, and this is always in the opposite direction because this is the static mass of fluid. Okay, this is the static mass of fluid, means it is under the stationary condition or under the equilibrium. Originally it is under the stationary condition as per the Newton's first law of principle. Okay, so P into h bar, or it is also F into h bar moment of this force about the point A, that is F h bar. This is equal to F1 moment of F1 about A. Okay, F1 moment of F1 multiplied by this particular perpendicular distance, that gives you the moment of F1 about A. F1 multiplied by this distance. This distance is what? This is this height minus h1 by 3, because we already know the point of application of this F1 where it acts. It acts at a distance of h1 by 3 from the base DE. So F1 moment of this force about point A is equal to F1 multiplied by this height. So this height is F1 h1 minus h1 by 3. This gives you the moment of force F1 about point A. Next is F2. F2, where it acts at the CG point, okay, of this rectangle. The CG point of this rectangle is at a depth of 1 meter, that is AE, and half of this, okay, that is h1 plus h2 by 2, that is F2 is magnitude of this force is 7848, 1 plus 0.5 by 2. Similarly, this is also anti-clockwise moment. Then F3, its moment is F3, its magnitude is 2452, and its moment. So this total, this height, this perpendicular height, so this height is equal to, total is, it is 1, and from this point is lying below the point, below the surface DE at a distance of 2/3 of h2. 2/3 of h2. So 1 plus 2/3 of 0.5. So you just, therefore h bar is equal to, you calculate this, divide by this 1814.8, that gives you the h bar. So h bar is what? It is the point of application of total pressure. This is the point of application of total force or pressure on the wall AC. Okay, so the magnitude of the total force is 18148.5 Newton, and its point of application is 1.009. Okay, so similarly we have uploaded notes in the last class. So one more problem is there, so that you can take as a assignment problem. So with this now we will discuss how to draw the pressure diagrams. How to draw the pressure diagrams for the different shapes. Okay, for the different shapes. Okay, students, now we will discuss how to draw the pressure diagrams. How to draw the pressure diagrams on various cases. Okay, so as we have already discussed, let us take case 1. In this case 1 or figure A, the surface is immersed in the horizontal direction to a depth h1. Okay, in figure B, that is second figure, okay, this is the plate which is immersed in the static mass of fluid in a vertical direction to a height of h1, from the free surface. This is the plate. Okay, this is the inclined plate, and these two are the gravity dams. This is the gravity structure, or you can also call as a gravity dam. Okay, so any structure which resists all external forces by itself weight, such structure is going to call as the gravity type structure. So now when the plate is immersed in the horizontal direction, the pressure intensity acting on this plate is uniform because all the points lying on this plane are submerged at the same height h1. So pressure exerted on this plate is equal to, or total pressure exerted on this plate is equal to W, that is the, suppose this fluid is water, you can consider this water, W, that is unit weight of water, multiplied by this height, and this is the pressure diagram. Okay, suppose if the plate is immersed in the vertical direction. Okay, so this is the plate. So let us, from the free surface, this plate is immersed to a depth of h2, and height of this is h2 minus h1, that is, this is h2 minus h1. Okay, that is this total height minus h1. So this gives you the height of this vertical plate or vertical surface. Now how to draw the pressure diagram or the pressure intensity is acting on this vertical plate or on this vertical surface at different levels. Okay, so as you know, this is the plate, so you just join or project this plate up to the free surface. Then as from the hydrostatic law, we know that the pressure exerted by the static mass of fluid on any vertical plane is triangular in shape, having zero intensity at the top and having maximum intensity W into H, that is the height of the plate. Okay, so here let us, this is a pressure intensity, pressure varies linearly, but its shape is triangular. This pressure variation is straight line, that is linear variation, but it is triangular in shape, having zero intensity at the free surface, and maximum this pressure intensity is WH2. Okay, WH2. Then the pressure intensity at this level is WH1. At this level it is WH1, means pressure acting on this static mass of fluid on the top edge of the plate, which is immersed at a depth of h1 from the free surface, and this is the bottom edge of the surface, which is at a height of h2 from the base. So this pressure intensity at this level is WH2, at this level it is WH1. So once you know the pressure intensity of this at this top, the pressure intensity at the bottom, this is what? This is of irregular rectangular shape. So you calculate the total force, that is area of this multiplied by 1 multiplied by unit weight of water, that gives you the, that is volume of this figure multiplied by unit weight of water, that gives you the total force P. Okay, and also its point of application, let it is going to act at the CG point of this. Similarly, if the plate is immersed in the inclined direction, so this is the plate. Okay, let it is immersed in the inclined direction. So to draw the pressure diagram, you join this up to the free surface, then maximum pressure intensity will be always acts at the base, and its direction is normal to the plate. Okay, as we have discussed, the pressure is always acts on any plane normal to the plane, normal direction to the plane. Okay, in the normal direction on the plane. So this is the normal direction, means perpendicular to this plate. Okay, this is the maximum pressure intensity WH2. This is the pressure intensity at the top W1 H1, because this point is lying at a depth of H1. This bottom point is lying at a depth of H2. So here pressure intensity is WH1. Here the pressure intensity is WH2. So pressure intensity diagram is rectangular in shape. You calculate the total force P. This is equal to area of this diagram multiplied by 1 multiplied by unit weight of water and its point of application. That gives you the total force. Okay, this is how to draw the pressure diagram. Now let us take a gravity dam or a gravity type structure. So this is a gravity type structure. It may be a concrete or it may be a machinery, whatever it may be. Okay, this is a concrete type structure. Okay, always or it is, you can say it is a storage structure, so which is constructed across any streams or natural channels to store the water at the upstream side. Okay, this is the gravity type structure, or you can call it as a gravity dam. It is constructed across a nala or across a river or across a channel to store the water at the upstream side. So this is the water stored at the upstream side. This is the downstream side. There is some tail water. So our downstream side, this water level we are also going to call as the tail water. When you will come to the higher classes, there you will discuss how to analyze and design the hydraulic structures. There you will come to know what is the tail water, what is the upstream side level, etc., and how to draw the pressure diagram. There it is very, very important to draw first pressure diagrams, then calculate the pressure intensities, then you can calculate the total pressure acting on the surfaces, then you can analyze and design the structure. Okay. Now the first case, this is a gravity type structure. The upstream face of the structure is vertical in shape. Okay, or this is the upstream face of the gravity dam. Its shape is, or it is vertical. The shape of the upstream side of the dam is vertical, and it is inclined at the downstream side. It is inclined at the downstream side. So okay, now this is the water stored at the upstream side, that is called upstream side, and this is the free surface. This is the free surface of the stored water at the upstream side. Now what is the force exerted or pressure exerted by this static mass of fluid which is stored at the upstream side of the dam? Okay, what is the pressure exerted this stored water on this dam, so, or on this structure? So this face of the structure is vertical, so the pressure distribution or pressure intensity is acting on this plane is, the variation is triangular in shape, having maximum pressure intensity at the base, having zero pressure intensity at the free surface. You draw the pressure diagram. It is triangular in shape, as I have told, having the maximum pressure intensity at the base and zero pressure intensity at the free surface. Okay, so this is the pressure distribution diagram. This is the maximum pressure intensity. This small p is equal to WH. So the total pressure acting on this triangle is P. This is equal to what? Area of this triangle, that is WH into H multiplied by 1. So this gives you volume multiplied by unit weight of water. So this is half WH square is the magnitude of total force P, and it is acting at a distance of H by 3 from the base of the dam. From the base of the dam, or 2/3 of H by 3 from the free surface. Okay, so this is how calculate the pressure intensity acting, maximum pressure intensity acting at the base of the dam or base of the structure, and total pressure, that is equal to half WH square. Okay, that is area multiplied by 1, that is unit weight, that is the unit length multiplied by unit weight of water. So that gives you the total pressure exerted by this static mass of water exerting on this vertical plane P, and its point of application is h by 3 from the base or 2/3 of h from the free surface. Okay, similarly you have the tail water, for a depth of h1. Okay, this height is h1. Since this is an inclined surface, so for the inclined surface the actual total force is going to act in the normal direction, means this plane is inclined, the total force is going to act in the inclined direction. So you can take horizontal and vertical components of this force. Okay, this force or magnitude of this is square root of its sum of its vertical components plus square of sum of its horizontal components, as you know from the basic mechanics. So instead of calculating the total pressure, you calculate its components of total force in the horizontal direction and in the vertical direction. So this is the force exerted on this inclined surface due to the stationary fluid in the horizontal direction, and this is then there is a gravitational weight which is going to act due to the water which is going to store on this inclined surface. Okay, this is the fluid or water which is going to store on this inclined surface. So you have to calculate weight of this. Okay, weight is nothing but force, weight of this. So weight of this is area of this multiplied by 1 multiplied by unit weight of water, that gives you PV1, and also P1 is equal to half WH1 square. This force acts at a distance of h1 by 3 from the base, and this is a triangle. So either you can consider this face or this face. From this point it is acting at the 2/3 of this length or 1/3 of this length from this point. Okay, so like this. Similarly, if the upstream face of the dam is not vertical, if it is inclined, so you project this inclined portion of the dam in the horizontal direction. So this is the inclined portion of the dam. This is the inclined portion of the dam at the upstream side. So what I am going to do here, I am projecting this inclined face in the vertical direction. Okay, this is the projected part, or this is the projection of this surface in the vertical direction. This is the projection of this inclined surface in the vertical direction. Okay, this is in the vertical direction, and the pressure acting on this vertical plane is this triangle. It is triangle in shape, having maximum pressure intensity at the base and 0 here, and also there is a storage of water on this inclined surface. So you will get one more force due to the stored water, that is the volumetric force or the body force. So if it is inclined surface, you are getting volumetric force as well as the surface force. Okay, so surface force is P1, PV1, PV2 are the self weights or volumetric forces, that is the weight of water stored on the inclined surface. Like this, you have to draw the pressure diagrams and calculate the magnitude of the total force and point of application. So this ends the discussion on the how to draw the pressure diagrams and how to calculate the intensity of pressures, total pressures when the surfaces are immersed horizontally, vertically in the inclined direction, and also if it is curved. So one more numerical problem is going to solve Sandeep Water. Okay, so that is the numerical problem on the curved surface. From next class we will start discussion on the kinematics. Okay, kinematics. Thank you.